Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here once again, and haven't filmed for a while, so I thought I would film and talk about how this past year has gone. So I'll just give you some updates on the different projects I've been working on. Also, let's look at this goldenrod behind me. Look how massive this thing is. This gotta be like 8 or 9 feet tall, the tallest stem here. This thing is like quite the specimen. But anyways, right now I'm kind of in the middle of planting a bed of silverweed, Pacific silverweed, and streambank clover. So thought I would show you guys that to start with. Yeah, I just got this one bed I have dug out so far, and on the right side I'm planting silverweed, on the left side I'm planting the clover. And I wasn't really planning on planting these, but I only had like 9 clover that I grew this year. I have a lot of, and then I have a lot of silverweed that just like didn't sell at all. You know, this is my first year growing that as well, and it grew really well, but just, you know, I'm learning a lot of this stuff that's kind of habitat specific, which with silverweed, I mean, you could plant anywhere, but it just needs to be a moist or wet area, and just a lot of people, I think, just don't have that kind of area that will sustain it over time. Streambank clover might be a little bit less fussy, but it still usually likes moist, wet areas where it naturally grows at least. But so I'm probably not going to grow silverweed again for a while. I'm probably just going to focus on what I know will sell for the time being. And then maybe once I grow more as a business, I can start growing some of the stuff that's a bit more specific like that. But you can see these roots down here. I should probably break them up a bit. This is the silverweed, FYI. It's always interesting seeing the different like root systems of plants. But the streambank clover, which is here, some of them are still quite green, but both these plants typically grow around like estuary type areas, pretty wet areas, somewhat salty. But I mean, they'll fit in just kind of wherever is wet. They work nice as like kind of ground covers. These clover have quite the robust root system. I mean, these were all started from seed this spring. And apparently these rhizomes are all edible as well. If you wanted to like dig them up and put them in, I don't know, saute them, I guess. Just pretty cool. I mean, they've grown quite quickly, so I figure, you know, especially with how harsh last winter was, which specifically we had like a few days that was like minus 20 or whatever, and I had a lot of plants die. You know, I'm better off just planting some of these because they'll probably at least survive the winter in the ground and come back and hopefully do okay. You know, I'm not entirely sure because you never quite know when you're planting in an area like this. Like I've kind of planted it so there's like a bit of a divot in the ground where I'm putting them, so they should keep a bit more moist here, but you know, you never know when it comes to summer and how much things will actually dry out, so it's a bit of an experiment too, but I figure, I don't know, I might as well. And yeah, we'll see. I've actually quite a few beds I've planted this fall. I've made it further than I thought. I've got like 12 new beds now, some from seed, some from plants like this. So I'm just going to finish planting these ones here. Also, this one is like insane. I thought I would just add this as well. I'm planting these ones together specifically because they grow together naturally in nature. And they're both kind of like the same level of aggressiveness and spread. So I think they should grow fine together as well. And eventually, I don't know, if I need to, I'll you know, expand the beds or separate them or something. And yeah, I'll do that. But these guys will just be for collecting seeds if they work out anyways, so I think it'll be okay. All right, I got all the plants in the holes. I'll come back later to actually fill them in. And eventually I'll mulch them as well. I might save the mulching till closer to spring because there's not really risk of seeds germinating this time of year. It's December. Here are some of the other beds I have. You can see this is the goldenrod, or Solidago lapida. All the seed heads I cut off to collect the seeds for. This one is actually going to be cow parsnip, which I planted a bunch of seeds for. Previously I've planted just some first year plants in the ground, and they did pretty good here, so hopefully by seed they'll do okay and not get like super out competed by other things. I think they should be okay. We'll see. Of course, the silverweed and clover I just showed you. Here we got some woolly sunflower. We've got some gumweed, Grindelia stricta. I always have to think between Gaillardia and Grindelia. And then we have blanket flower Gaillardia aristata. We got some Western Rush, some Juncus occidentalis. We got a couple of raised beds I put back here. This one is Penstemon cerulatus, Cascade Penstemon. It's a really pretty one. Hopefully these raised beds do okay. The one kind of issue I've had this year is horsetail and dealing with that. But I think if you stay on top of it, it's okay. But we'll see. We'll see. This one is sticky cinquefoil, or dry Macalus glandulosa. These ones I'm showing you specifically right now are new ones. This is an old one I did last year, which was top terra grass. What else? These ones I've shown you in the past, but this is one I grew this year as well, which is half of it is small blue-eyed Maria, Collinsia, and then we have Pletritis congesta, or sea blush on the left side. But see, that's coming in quite nice here. Yeah, this is the bed I mainly had issues with horsetail, because it just grows up right through everything and kind of just makes it really like cramped. And then if you pull it, it just comes back like denser and thinner. It's really annoying, but it wasn't the end of the world because like the annuals kind of seeded before it was a big problem, so I could kind of collect the seeds, and then I just kind of tarped it over, and then removed the tarp in the fall again so the annuals could reseed themselves. So it kind of worked out that way. This is another bed. I planted a couple things from seed. I did large-leaved avens, or Geum macrophyllum. I'm sorry, there's a plane. And also we got a bed of Cooley's hedge nettle here that I did from 1 gallon pots. This is what Stacky's Coulier. Last one, I think, if I'm getting them all, stinging nettle, or Urtica gracilis here. See, some still have a couple leaves on them. So yeah, I mean, some of these are kind of just experimental. I'm not entirely sure if they'll work out, but hypothetically, they should. I guess the other problem, well, I mean, there's been a few problems this year. Is this bed was red columbine. It got totally taken over by Western buttercup, which is an invasive species here. I think it's what, Ranunculus repens or something like that. I'll correct it down below if it's not. But yeah, super aggressive, fast spreading if you don't stay on top of it. And yeah, it just got in there and I wasn't on top of it. My mistake with this one is I didn't mulch fast enough. Should have mulched like as soon as spring got here, or as soon as I made up the bed, and it would have been okay. Because the other beds I did mulch quicker were like pretty okay. They had some weeds coming I had to manage, but it wasn't a big deal. Look, we still got some yarrow blooming here, doing its thing. Like this one, just blue-eyed grass, is doing pretty good. Also, this is tough terra grass there, and it's got some bites taken out of it that weren't there like 2 days ago. Also, some deer poop next to it, so I think that solves the mystery there. Yeah, I mean, besides the weeds and the horsetail, the other issue, I mean, of course, deer and rabbit, but especially rabbit. This bed was common camas, and I didn't get any seeds from it this year because rabbits just came and ate like all the flowers before they even went to seed. It's like, wow, they really like the flowers apparently. But besides that, I'm thinking of like, I don't think I really had any other big issues with rabbits or deer eating the other things. I mean, a lot of the other plants I have in here so far are kind of like not deer's favorite food from my understanding, what I've learned. So hopefully next year's not a big deal either. We also apparently have some other farmers that are going to be taking some space in this back field here. So, you know, low key, hopefully the deer next year eat their stuff, not mine. Anyways, that's kind of what I have going on back here this year. I mean, I've got 12 new beds. I'm pretty happy about that progress. I don't quite think I would make it that far this fall, because it can be quite a bit of work, especially the ones you need to dig the holes for. This soil is like very heavy, has a lot of clay and silt, poor drainage for the most part, so it's not the easiest to work with, but I've managed, and yeah, I think we did pretty good. Oh, one other massive update, guys. I almost forgot to mention. I actually built a ramp here so I can get my stuff out easier. I know, so I don't have to like bounce it on like a piece of wood that I'm using as like a seesaw anymore. So I, don't applaud too hard. We can't all be master craftsmen like me and nail 2 pieces of wood together. So yeah, that's actually, I should have done that like years ago at this point. I don't know why I took so long to do that. But yes, success. Hi, greenhouse, a little bit messy as usual. Usually by spring, I have it all tidied up and looking pretty decent. And then throughout the spring and summer, it just gets messier and messier. It's not terrible right now. I just need to like condense some plants. Also take down these tables and put the plants back where they need to go. I need to organize these trays a bit better. But I got pretty much everything I need planted that's actually like a priority that needs cold stratification now. So that's pretty good. This year I've covered them all with like trays and stuff just to keep the birds from messing with them. Because I made the mistake of leaving a few of them the other day and came in a couple days later and the birds have like messed around with the soil and everything. I guess probably looking around for bugs and probably maybe some seeds as well, but I don't know how much they actually affected and find seeds and stuff, and I'm gonna come back when the plane's not here. Jeez, it's really one of those days with the planes where they just keep on coming. Anyways, yeah, this year is gonna be probably definitely more than I've ever grown before. I think I've really kind of honed in on like how to grow certain things specifically, and maybe I'll make another video about that. But I also have some trays I've been unsuccessful with in other years. I need to weed them a bit. I actually planted last year that just like didn't grow because there's certain species I'm just like not sure what I'm doing wrong with. So I've left them for an additional year to see if I have better results this coming spring. Some things just need like a couple years in the ground to get stratified sufficiently. So we'll see if I have better results with any of those. Besides that, yeah, I don't know. Besides that, I just have to, there's some other stuff I need to do in here. I really need to go through all my pots and weed them, which isn't too bad. Also cut back some of the dead foliage as well. And there's a few things I'm going to repot into 2 gallons. Like I said last year with the bad weather, I lost a lot of plants. So certain things this year I'm just repotting into 2 gallons because the 2 gallons seem to be a lot more resilient to that kind of thing. Especially like the ribes sanguineum here. I'm putting a lot of the 1 gallons into 2 gallons. And a few other things as well, just to increase their survivability. Plus I can sell them for more as well. Look at this Gaillardia that is blooming still while this stupid plane flies over. But yeah, there's not really too much else to show in here today. That's kind of the stuff I need to work on. Oh, sorry about that. That's kind of the stuff I need to work on still for the fall and winter, and just kind of cleaning everything up for spring. As well as just some stuff on my website and different things like that. What else? I don't know. Besides that, I guess we'll get to the good part and I'll talk about how this past year has actually gone and stuff. Okay, how has this past year gone? We're about 4 years into it now, and I think definitely at the beginning when I started this, I thought things would grow a lot quicker than they have, but I'm definitely more reinvigorated and hopeful this year about my business growing and stuff. Because this year was the most successful year yet, and it was just good to see a nice boost this year. Because the last 2 years, I'm not giving you exact numbers in this video, by the way, but I'm giving you ballpark numbers. The last couple of years, I only made net, when you take away expenses and stuff, maybe around $10,000 the last 2 years in a row. And this year I made closer to 20,000 or so. Obviously more than that if you include everything you spent money on and stuff like that too. But so basically doubled what I made this year, which was really good to see. I think I'll feel really good about it when I hit that 30K number, which who knows, maybe next year, you never know. It's really hard to say, but that definitely gives me a lot of hope, and it's a bit easier to live now than the last couple of years were kind of a struggle, not gonna lie. But so yeah, I'm pretty happy to see that. Happy to see, I think this year I saw a lot of, I guess you would say I have a stronger customer base. I was invited to different events to sell my plants at. I have a lot more returning customers, like I was saying, of different landscapers and just ordinary people that have like projects they're working on year to year and stuff like that. So you know, if you're someone that like wants to do a similar endeavor like what I'm doing, I mean, I think you can do it. It's just, it takes a lot of time. You know, I think a lot of people on YouTube that do like farming and stuff, a lot of them are like full of shit. Or they is like, they make even less money than I am, but with like whatever their thing is, but they make all their money off YouTube, which is like pretty interesting. Not hating, that's pretty actually sick actually, but yeah, just know it's gonna take a lot of time. I mean, Google says it takes like, I think 5 to 7 years for like a small business to really like get off the ground and get going. You know, I'm sure you can do it faster than that too, depending on who you are and where you live and, you know, what resources you're starting with. But if you're like someone like me that was basically starting with like nothing, then it's going to take time. It's going to take time to get your name out there and really develop your business and everything. But overall, I'm really happy with this past year and how things have gone. And hopefully we just keep on growing as things go on. And I mean, with that, I mean, that 5 to 7 year mark kind of seems like the direction we're going to hit as well. So hopefully the next year or two, I'll have some good updates for you with that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else I can talk about in regards to this past year. Just, yeah, things are going good, I would say, overall. And, you know, right now I'm focusing on increasing my seed sources too. I can collect from here at the nursery and sell those, and you know, add that as an income source as well. Right now my selection isn't huge, so I think once I have a bigger selection that I can like put out there, I think that will help a lot more too, because people go to places and they want like the selection, they want to order, you know, all their things from like one place as well. And same with plants as well. I mean, when you have a limited space to work with, you have to also kind of pick and choose what makes sense to grow. You don't want to invest like a ton of space and time to growing something that takes like several years to grow and that you can't really sell for like significantly more. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on. This year I'm trying to grow a lot of different stuff. Obviously I have like the new or kind of experimental stuff I'm growing less of, because you never want to like invest too much into like something new that you don't think will necessarily pan out, or you don't know like how good the germination is going to be, or even if it will germinate. So my advice to anyone that wants to start this kind of thing is just start small and work your way up throughout the years as you build clientele and you gain demand as well from what you're growing. I think that's like the best thing you can do, is not overinvest right away. I mean, that seems like very like basic, but you know, just know that you don't have to do everything at once. I think at the beginning I really wanted to do everything at once, and we're gonna put up with this plane right now. But it takes time, energy, resources, so, you know, don't stress about it. Do what you can. You know, build demand for your product and get your name out there. That's all you can do. And yeah, I don't know if there's much more for me to say. If I think of anything, I'll add it. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking with the channel. We're at over 500 subscribers now, which is pretty cool, I think. Hopefully we can hit 1,000 by maybe next year sometime. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Peace. I'm not giving exact numbers here, guys, but fuck these fucking planes. Fuck.